ABC 6 News at 5 on your side starts now.
And for the sake of the many who are suffering, I will vote to impeach, and I encourage my colleagues to do so as well.
The people of America understand due process, and they understand when it is being trampled in the people's house.
Just a few seconds of what will total to 6 hours of debate on the House floor. Lawmakers arguing back and forth about whether President Trump committed an impeachable offense.
Live look here at the ongoing proceedings in Washington, D.C.
Tonight, President Trump faces only the third impeachment vote in U.S. history, and it could take place at any moment.
Impeachment is all but certain. Democrats hold the majority in the House. If the articles are approved, a Senate trial, of course, would begin next month.
Chief political correspondent Scott Thuman has the breaking details now from Washington.
Dressed in black to reflect the somber day unfolding under her watch, Nancy Pelosi opened debate with a Pledge of Allegiance and allegations of wrongdoing.
Our founders' vision of a republic is under threat from actions from the White House. That is why today, as Speaker of the House, I solemnly and sadly open the debate on the impeachment of the President of the United States.
Democrats' argument was simple.
No one in America could do what Donald Trump did and get away with it.
He tried to cheat, he got caught, he confessed.
We have a president who seems to believe he is a king.
While outside, those demanding Trump's removal crowded the Capitol lawn, inside, Republicans reacted with passion, at times disgust.
Why do we keep calling this a solemn occasion when you've been wanting to do this ever since the gentleman was elected?
The charges they refute: abuse of power for Trump's interactions with Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden, and obstruction for allegedly stymieing the congressional investigation. As his fate was being decided, the president tweeting in all caps, "atrocious lies," and an assault on America. Republicans claiming their opponents are rushing to impeach because they worry they can't beat Trump in an election.
This is the most partisan impeachment in the history of the United States. I believe the Democrats are tearing this country apart.
I spoke with a source close to the president who said he does want that full, thorough Senate trial next. The president believes he could be vindicated, but the source also worries about how the president might react to impeachment if he will do, say, or tweet something that might actually make matters worse for him. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.
Scott, thank you. And we're also keeping a close eye on how your members of Congress vote on impeachment.
Senior political reporter Ben Garbrick joining us now with how the vote is expected to play out. Ben?
Well, Bob and Terry, this is expected to be a party line vote on both sides. There will be one or two Democrats who vote against impeachment, but right now it looks like all the Ohio Democrats will vote for impeachment and all the Ohio Republicans will vote against it. Earlier today, we heard from Republican Representative Steve Stivers, who says he will be voting against impeachment.
I'm disappointed that we have divided the country like this, but I'm glad that it's going to be over and we can hopefully move on and get some things done.
Stivers says he has a high bar for impeachment. He would have voted against the Clinton impeachment had he been in Congress back then. Stivers says he's hoping Congress can approve the new update NAFTA agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada later this week after the impeachment vote. So far today, the two sides have been taking turns speaking on the House floor about why they're voting for or against impeachment. This afternoon, Toledo area Democrat Marcy Kaptur is explaining why she will vote for impeachment.
Rather than stand up to Putin, President Trump and his minions aided Putin, first in hastening Russian interference in our 2016 elections, and then more recently withholding vital military aid from Ukraine to coerce its interference in our 2020 elections.
The two sides have 6 hours to go back and forth on this. There are enough Democrats who have come out in favor of impeachment for the vote to go through. Coming up at 5:15, we'll hear from political experts about how impeachment is going from a rare event in our nation's history to one being used more and more often. Back to you.
Thank you, Ben. President Trump isn't the first president to go through the impeachment process. 3 other commanders-in-chief went through something similar. The first back in 1868. Andrew Johnson was vice president during the Civil War. He took over when Abraham Lincoln was killed. Well, the problem was that Johnson tried to walk back Civil War results. He was impeached. In the Senate trial, Johnson was acquitted by 1 vote. Some historians speculate he bribed a senator in order to save his job. Then in 1974, Richard Nixon resigned before he could be impeached. He was implicated in a cover-up of a break-in at the D.C. headquarters in the Watergate building while running for re-election.
And most recently, of course, Bill Clinton in 1998. He was accused of lying under oath and obstruction of justice after having an affair with an intern. Clinton was impeached on both counts, but not convicted.
A reminder, the articles of impeachment against President Trump are abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He's accused of asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and asking them to say that they interfered in the 2016 election instead of Russia. President Trump is also accused of hampering the impeachment investigation itself. Now, President Trump will not be in Washington tonight. He and Vice President Mike Pence are leading a rally in Michigan. No doubt impeachment will be the biggest topic at that event.
Some tense moments at Grove City High School today. Police say that a student brought a loaded gun to school. A spokesperson for Southwestern City Schools says this was first reported by another student. The school then immediately put a safety plan into action. Grove City police took a boy into custody along with the gun. No one hurt and no word on any charges yet. And a Westerville teen facing aggravated robbery charges after police say he threatened someone with a gun to steal a pair of shoes. This happening during what was supposed to be a meetup to sell something through an app. Police arrested 18-year-old Jawan McClendon after investigators say he tried to sell the stolen shoes again on the same app. McClendon charged with aggravated robbery and kidnapping. Police say he had a semi-automatic gun on him when he was arrested. Gun charges are pending.
Well, don't adjust your screens. It's not noon. It is not the Edgy Noon Show. Although maybe it'll be the Edgy Dinner Time Show.
So
who knows?
happy to see you.
Hi, Jim. How you
Most
doing?
people don't realize you're upstairs and I'm down here.
Yes.
And so when we're not working together,
we don't see each other. Yeah. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
You're here
So
tonight.
Stacia will be back tonight at 10 and 11. So I'm just keeping the seat warm.
Thank you. Anyhow, what about a white Christmas? We came so close. We're only a week away from a white Christmas, and the numbers look pretty good here. 48% of the United States has snow cover, and 50% of Ohio. Everybody north and west of Columbus has snow. Milder through Christmas, though, and snow cover on Christmas Day in the country's only 20%. Not here in Ohio, but look at snow trails. Blowing snow 24 hours a day. It looks fantastic, but it's also fantastically cold. 22 degrees in Powell. The wind chill factor is 15 in Pataskala and Galloway, 13 down at Grove City. Wind speeds are 10 to 20 miles per hour. We've had a few snow flurries from time to time. If you're out shopping this evening, obviously it's cold, 17 degrees by 9 o'clock tonight, and overnight drops all the way down to 12 by daybreak in the morning.
Thank you, Jim. Dangerous conditions for the homeless tonight as those temperatures you saw there dip below freezing, well below freezing. And it's a challenge across central Ohio, both in Columbus and in the smaller cities. In Newark, a warming center just opened up for the night. People need to get out of this extreme cold. And new at 5, Luann Stoya with the volunteers and how they're working to save lives.
When people in need come here to the center, they can get a hot meal or the essentials to stay healthy and safe.
And I make it strong.
Pastor Jeff Gill is putting on the coffee for the dozens of homeless or those at risk who can come here to get out of the cold. As many as 400 people from across Newark are living in tent cities or abandoned homes.
We know life and society being as it is, there's going to be people caught out, caught short, and need a place to go, and that we've got enough beds for all of them.
Well, these are Polar Tech fleece blankets.
The Emergency Management Agency is partnering with faith-based and other organizations to supply warming centers. When temperatures fall below 10 degrees, they gear up to prevent the unthinkable.
People freezing to death. That's just plain and simple. And while we're at it, we take the opportunity to see if any of these folks need additional services.
Yes, ma'am. So we have 19 cots set up in here, and then we're actually set up to where we could probably have up to 40 cots.
At the Disciple Factory, the man people call Pastor Critter tells us he's been homeless, so he understands the struggle of people who are dealing with addiction or are facing hard times.
Unless you walk in their shoes, you don't know why they're there, and we have to have passion for them, you know, show them the love.
If the cots fill up, other churches are ready to open their doors. We're told some volunteers will hit the streets to make sure the homeless know they can get out of the cold.
The Lord loves them, and that there is people out here that care, and that we have a warm place for them to go.
In Newark, Lou Ann Stoya, ABC 6 News.
Well, the Buckeyes hope to have 2 more games this season, but there's, of course, always a future that we need to focus on here. And at 5:30, how Ryan Day is making sure the Buckeyes remain among college football's elite.
New vaping concerns tonight, again among teenagers. The unintended use of e-cigarettes is growing in popularity.
And we're on your side tonight if you need some legal help. Members of the Columbus Bar Association are in the ABC 6 On Your Side Help Center taking your questions for free right now. Just dial 614-481-6848, and they'll be here until 6:30.
Where the 6 hours of debate so far on the impeachment is still happening. Democrats and Republicans are taking turns speaking, sometimes for as little as a minute at a time, sharing their thoughts on the process. There's about 2 hours of that time remaining between the two parties.
Well, the Democrats say they have the votes to impeach the president. Any minute now, they'll be proving if that's the case.
So how will this all work when Congress finally gets to vote? Senior political reporter Ben Garbrick joining us now to explain what will be happening soon. Ben?
Well, Terry, there only needs to be a simple majority to vote to impeach the president. That means a few Democrats could vote against impeachment, and they would still have the numbers to do it. This is expected to be a party line vote. Political experts I've been speaking with today say that was going to be the case no matter what.
We're in such a charged atmosphere that it's almost going to be a partisan polarized debate. And we're certainly seeing that now.
The two sides will have 6 hours to debate. That time is equally divided between Republicans and Democrats. Here's the process that's going to unfold. The full House will vote sometime tonight. It's an electronic voting system. That means there won't be a roll call where every representative will hear their name called out and they will announce how they're going to vote. The vote is going to take about 15 minutes. There are a few empty seats in Congress right now, so there only needs to be 216 votes in favor. Democrats hold 233 seats total. There are only 2 Democrats who have said they may vote against impeachment, so they will likely have more than enough to surpass the number needed. They will vote on both of the charges against the president separately. Trump is being charged with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Coming up at 5:30, there's a common theme on both sides about the gravity of the vote being cast today. You'll hear from 2 Ohioans in Congress about how they reached opposite conclusions because of it. Back to you.
All right, Ben, thanks so much. Traps are being set for package thieves in Grove City.
Now, when a package is now taken from someone's porch, there's a very good chance that police and the Postal Service are tracking it. Kaylee Gunderson now with a look at how this clever way is stopping porch pirates.
Grove City is clearly ready for the holidays, and those last-minute gifts are delivered daily.
If you drive up and down the neighborhood nowadays, you'll see packages at every other house.
But this year, Grove City police are warning thieves there could be more to the stolen goods than they realize.
A criminal comes into Grove City, they're not going to know what packages are safe to steal and what packages are tracked or being watched by us.
The division is teaming up with the United States Postal Service to plant packages on various porches throughout the city. The sponsor chosen based on theft data. What looks like a typical delivery will come with a hidden GPS device and will be watched by a hidden camera.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, that's the way you're going to target the criminals in the area.
When a package is removed, police will be led right to the person who took it. And this technique will be incorporated into deterring this type of crime and others.
It's always going to be an issue. It's always been an issue. And this area has always been pretty good, but we're experiencing a rise in criminal activity around here as well. So,
as more people order online, I expect that this problem will continue throughout the year, not just the holiday season. So we will, the partnership that we've made now with this operation is going to help us in the future.
In Grove City, Kaylee Gunderson, ABC 6 News.
All right, well, look at me here. I've never actually been sandwiched between this much edge in my life before, but one of these guys is not like the other.
Yeah, we need to. You're almost edgy enough to be on the noon show.
I work at it
a few more
every day.
months, maybe.
Thanks.
You might be okay.
I can't lose with you two models. Look at that. Noon show comes to 5 o'clock.
Oh, my goodness.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, we have a great time together, though.
I know you do.
always
I
have.
know you do. I know you do.
So it's fantastic.
We love it up in the newsroom, too.
Weather's harsh today. Oh, my gosh,
It's
the
cold.
wind is cold, and the wind chill's as low as 7 up at Marion. And tonight, with snow cover, it's going to drop to 5 degrees to the north and west of Columbus, up around Canton and Lima and Bell Fountain. However, south and east of Columbus, there isn't any snow cover, so lows will be around 10. Either way, we'll be dealing with wind chill factors down near 0. Dublin has 22, downtown 24, Grove City 25. Wind speeds are 10 to 20 miles an hour. Hey, it looks a little bit brighter there. Not bad. And it's 5:20. So brightness continues in central Ohio this late. 24 degrees, a west wind at 16. Our wind chill's 11. The Tempstar heating and cooling current temperatures, it is only 19 now at Canton and 20 degrees off to the north and to the west of us. Wind speeds are 10 to 20 miles an hour. And so the wind chill factor is actually 8 in Delaware, 9 degrees now in Marion. So in your forecast, temperatures are going to tumble tonight, clearing skies, but also notice the winds will gradually diminish as we go through the night tonight. And it's the last really cold night for the month. Isn't that amazing? We've had a few snow flurries here and there. Up northeast of Cleveland, some lake effect snow squalls have put down 2 to 6 inches of snow in that region. We also have some lake effect snow squalls off Ontario and Michigan, but the wind direction is not right for those snow squalls off of Lake Michigan to reach us here, and this will diminish once the sun goes down tonight. So your overnight low temperature 11, clearing, brisk and cold, 5 degrees to the north and west of Columbus, early wind speeds of 10 to 15 miles an hour during the night tonight. During the day tomorrow, we're looking for a high of 33. But it's going to look and feel a whole lot better than today because it won't be as windy. North wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour, and the sunset is now 3 minutes later than it was to start the month. The morning sunrises really haven't changed yet, but will starting about a week from now. So in the extended forecast, keep in mind this is the last shopping weekend before Christmas. And ahead of Christmas and after Christmas, this is kind of rare to get this long a spell of very, very nice weather for travel, for being outside. But more importantly, look at the temperatures. 33 degrees for a high on Thursday, and then a low of 22 at night. 40 on Friday, low to mid 40s over the weekend. And oh my gosh, no snow around for Christmas here. 48 degrees on Christmas Eve, 49 on Christmas Day. The next chance of rain is just before the new year. Not snow yet even then.
Won't they be jealous in Florida? Thank you, Jim. Dozens of new Buckeyes officially signed to play football at OSU. How Ryan Day is keeping Ohio State's future bright.
And here's a live look outside. Some places have snow on the ground still. Will it still be here in a week? Even though Jim just mentioned something about that, I'm telling him to go back to that computer right now. At 5:30, we're going to take a deep dive into the odds of a white Christmas in Ohio.
Coming up at 6, a busy exit ramp is about to close, and we'll keep your sanity from leaving along with it. We'll give you a bird's eye view and straighten out your drive at 6. For fully paid leave to new parents. The benefits to be implemented in April. Mothers will receive 8 weeks of maternity leave following childbirth, in addition to 4 weeks of parental leave. The other parent will get 4 weeks of leave.
You may turn on your faucet countless times and not think about what it takes to make sure the water is safe to drink. 6 on Your Side investigates got a rare tour of a Central Ohio water treatment plant. Delco Water Company opened its doors to show us the long process from start to finish.
Our industry is very reliable, both the water and wastewater industries. So there's so few upsets, there's so few challenges with customers getting that. It's easy to take it for granted.
Find out how often the water is tested at this particular plant before it's sent to your tap. 6 on Your Side investigates tonight at 11. Some of the top high school football players in the country are making it official. They will be Buckeyes. New at 5:30, the Waves head coach Ryan Day is working his recruiting magic.
And we've heard of porch pirates, but what about police station pirates? The man who just got out of jail who could be heading back pretty quickly.
ABC 6 News at 5 on Your Side starts now.
All eyes tonight on Washington, D.C. as a battle between lawmakers moves back and forth, a debate at this point. By the time you wake up tomorrow, it's expected that President Trump will be up against an impeachment trial in the Senate.
After 2 months of investigations, more than 80 hours of hearings, and 16 witnesses, the historic vote to impeach President Trump is just hours away.
Serena Marshall on Capitol Hill now with the latest.
Days are ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic
Even before the
device.
debate began, Republicans trying to shut it down.
Madam Speaker, so we can stop wasting America's time on impeachment, I move that the House do now adjourn.
But the impeachment of President Trump by the House of Representatives, a foregone conclusion.
As Speaker of the House, I solemnly and sadly open the debate. Today we are here to defend democracy for the people. May God bless America.
Gentlelady is back.
President Trump accused by the Democratic House majority of abusing the power of his office for personal gain when he pressured the leader of Ukraine to investigate his political opponents, and obstructing Congress after he blocked documents and witnesses with direct knowledge of what occurred from being provided to the House committees.
President Trump placed his private political interests above our national security, above our elections, and above our system of checks and balances.
Republicans maintain this is all politics and an effort to undo the results of the 2016 election.
They can't actually pin anything of factual basis on him. The president did nothing wrong in this issue.
Each side getting 3 hours total to make their final arguments on a historic day, a vote taken only twice before in American history.
This is a moment that you will read about in your history books.
You have to remember that 95 of the Democrats on this floor today voted to impeach Donald Trump before the July 25th phone call ever happened.
He also bragged that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. Well, he's shooting holes in our Constitution on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Down Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump continued an attack on his impeachment via tweet, writing as the debate began, "Such atrocious lies by the radical left, do-nothing Democrats. This is an assault on America and an assault on the Republican Party." President Trump is expected to continue his defense at a rally in Michigan later tonight. He'll be taking to that stage around the same time the House will be holding their vote on impeachment. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
The entire impeachment process surrounds a hold on U.S. aid to Ukraine. On June 18th, the Pentagon announced $250 million in military aid.
On July 25th, President Trump made his now notorious call to Ukraine's president, asking the country to, quote, do us a favor. The same day, the Office of Management and Budget signed an official hold on the aid.
85 days later, after articles were written questioning the hold on aid, that hold was lifted. The Pentagon announced the change September 11th.
As for the vote itself, expected to be along party lines in favor of impeachment.
Senior political reporter Ben Garbrick joining us live from our newsroom now with the one thing both sides seem to agree upon. Ben?
Well, Bob and Terry, we keep hearing about what a solemn occasion this is. This is not an action most members of Congress take lightly, potentially removing an elected president from office.
It's disappointing. It's a day that it's not something that you want to do, and when I first came to Congress, it's not something that I thought I would be doing. So from that standpoint, it's a sad day.
Representative Troy Balderson is going to be voting along with every other Republican against impeachment. He says he doesn't think the process has been fair to the president. On the other hand, the historic nature of the vote is why some Ohio Democrats say they feel obligated to vote in favor of impeachment.
Members of Congress swear a solemn oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and today we fulfill our oath by defending liberty.
Many Democrats are invoking the Founding Fathers and the concern back then about foreign interference in American elections. They feel the president has invited other countries to interfere in the upcoming election to help out the Trump campaign. That's why they're voting to impeach. If the president is impeached tonight, that does not mean he's removed from office. The Senate would then have a trial to decide whether to convict him. Coming up at 5:45, we'll tell you why the Senate trial will likely be dramatically different than the House impeachment, wrapping up expected later tonight.
Thank you, Ben. And you can follow updates throughout the impeachment process on the free ABC6 app. It's also where you can watch the voting process live. If you need the app, just search for WSYX.
In the football fever, Ohio State head coach Ryan Day telling the Football Fever's Clay Hall he could actually exhale today.
Yeah, and that's after putting together an Urban Meyer-esque recruiting class, getting it on the books on National Signing Day. The Buckeyes with signatures from 24 players, 7 Ohio State signees ranking among the nation's top 100 players. Day is appreciative that recruits and their families bought into an unproven head coach.
There's a lot of families here that jumped on board here before we won a game at all this year, and they believed in what we were talking to these families about and the philosophies and what was going to go on, and here we are in the early signing day, and undefeated playing in the national semifinals, and I just want to say thank you publicly to all the families out there and the recruits who believed in us from the beginning.
Now the Bucs are pursuing a West Coast defensive back who will sign in February, following the departure of defensive whiz Jeff Hafley to Boston College.
With signing day out of the way now, the focus turns to Clemson and the Fiesta Bowl in just 10 days. The Football Fever takes a look at Ohio State's drive to the championship next Friday night at 7. It's an hour-long special right here on ABC6. Ohio State facing Clemson next Saturday on ESPN. I'll be here before you know it.
My birthday.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, that's
What
why.
day's your birthday?
December 28th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Might rain that day. Anyhow, 20 degrees at 7 o'clock tonight, 19 at 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a very cold night for zoo lights. Also a very cold night tonight. If you're headed out shopping, 19 degrees at 8 o'clock, and that does not count the wind chill overnight. It'll be 12 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. We've had a few snow flurries here and there, but they're going away now, and skies are clearing. Canton, you only have 18 now. Coshocton has 19 degrees. Wind chill factors are down around 10 at many locations here in central Ohio. So hour by hour, a slow drop in temperatures, but also a slow drop in the wind speeds in the next 6 hours is certainly going to help us out. By the way, I'm thinking about Christmas. We've had ice storms. We've had thunderstorms. The difference between the record high and the record low is like 90 degrees. But what about snow, Caroline?
Yeah, I know. We all want to hear about it. Will it be a white Christmas? Unfortunately, it's not looking too good. Now, when we break down the stats about Christmas here in central Ohio, when we say white Christmas, we're talking an inch or more. That's according to the National Weather Service. So a dusting doesn't count. Here in Columbus, since they started taking these totals in about 1948, we've only had 17 white Christmases. So that puts us at about 25% of the time. And when we do get a white Christmas, it's typically on the lower end as we just barely get it in there with that 1 inch. The most we've had, 7 inches. So we're a little ways off from that. Now I know we also all want to know, well, what are temperatures looking like? Is it going to be cold? I have some good news. Those of you looking to build a snowman, you won't be able to build a snowman. But the good news is, we're going to soar well above where we typically are for this time of year. So Christmas Day, here are the averages. A typical high of 36 degrees and a typical low of 23 degrees. We're definitely not getting a white Christmas. We are going to be looking at a warm Christmas. So coming on up just a few minutes away, Jim Ganal is going to give you that extended forecast and talk to you about a nice little warming trend headed our way.
All right, thanks, Caroline. The vaping crisis causing new concern for teens across the country. What's going in their e-cigarettes that's not supposed to be used?
If you need some legal advice, a reminder, we're on your side tonight, as we are every Wednesday. Just call 614-481-6848 as we have a full panel of legal experts there right now, ready to answer your legal questions for free gratis. I'll take your calls until 6:30.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by G&J Pepsi.
Has a very important story to tell, a third grade class.
Yeah.
They've been taking writing lessons.
In Gahanna, yeah.
Yeah, taking it to a whole new level.
They got to share their persuasive writing assignments with a state representative here today, Representative Mary Lightbody, visiting Casey Taylor's class at Chapel Field Elementary. Taylor says there is power in writing, no matter the writer's age.
I mean, we can all change the world with things, and there's ways to do that positively and negatively. So the fact that they can learn that through the writing is just huge. And starting young, doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 8, you can be 60, or any age, and you can really impact the world.
In addition to her work at the State House, Representative Lightbody has a lot of teaching experience. For the past 27 years, she's taught science and K through 12 in university classrooms, Columbus, Hilliard, and Westerville, so a ton of experience.
Celebrate. You just got out of jail. All you have to do is leave the police station, right? You're home free. But this guy was caught on camera taking some Christmas gifts on his way out the door. What officers say was really inside that he didn't like. Inside House chambers tonight, lawmakers in both parties are sharing their thoughts on the impeachment process, just as they have been all afternoon. And when it's all said and done, the House will vote on impeachment. If it passes, President Trump would become just the third president impeached in U.S. history.
Now, if the House decides to impeach President Trump, that will trigger a Senate trial.
Senators will then decide if the president stays in office.
Senior political reporter Ben Garbrick has been joining us here through the hour with different angles of this story here. And how is the trial going to be much different than the House impeachment proceedings there, Ben?
Well, Bob, the bar gets even higher in the Senate. The founding fathers wanted to make it a high standard to remove an elected president. It's highly unlikely there are enough votes to convict President Trump, so that's why Republican Senate leaders are talking about a short trial. The president is reported to want a long trial.
He really wants the Democrats to be put in the corner and to be attacked on everything. And it may not be in the interest of the Republicans to do that, mainly because it'll prolong the process.
The Senate President Mitch McConnell will be able to make many rules for how the Senate trial will go. Everyone involved is trying to figure out what is in their own political interests and how to best move forward. Here are some of the rules already in place. The Senate must hold a trial after the House votes to impeach. All 100 senators then serve as jurors in the trial. The Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court presides. It will be a public vote by the senators. A 2/3 majority is needed to remove the president. That means 67 senators would need to vote to convict. Republicans have the majority in the Senate, so there would need to be 20 Republicans to vote alongside every other Democrat in order to convict the president and remove him from office. That's highly unlikely. The trial is expected to start next month. Many are waiting to hear what the president's reaction will be if he is impeached later this evening. We likely won't have to wait long, though. The president is scheduled to hold a rally tonight in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Ben, thank you very much. New tonight, a study from the National Institutes of Health shows an alarming increase in teen vaping.
Just the amount of teens who say they use vape devices for marijuana is up almost 200%. Jeff Reddick reports why doctors are warning kids to slow that trend.
The numbers are alarming. 1 in 4 high school seniors reporting they've used vape pens to smoke nicotine in the last month. And 14% of those seniors doing the same with marijuana or its derivative THC. Doctors, like the rest of us, are concerned.
We do know that THC can disrupt a lot of things with teenagers, especially behavioral patterns and things like that.
And Dr. Ben Bring at Dublin Methodist Hospital says it's not just the marijuana. Vaping is highly addictive no matter the substance.
The levels of nicotine that you can get by inhaling these substances is tremendously more powerful than any cigarettes,
leading to lung diseases or even lung failure. If there is good news in Wednesday's study, it is that teen cigarette smoking has dropped 14% in the last decade. But But that does not mean parents should accept vaping as an alternative.
Just telling your kids not to do something obviously may not be the best way of approaching that. And so having open dialogue and then identifying the ways in which these products can be harmful, I think, are very important.
Don't let your chance to take care of your kids go up in smoke. Jeff Reddick, ABC 6 News.
A security guard at a popular store in Boston facing assault charges tonight. Muhammad Khan was indicted after allegedly throwing an 11-year-old girl down to the ground. She was accused of stealing several items from the store. Police say Khan grabbed her, threw her down, and may have even punched her. Prosecutors described the brutal encounter.
And within moments, Khan grabbed that young lady by the head and neck region and forcefully threw her to the ground. While on the ground, he placed his body on top of that young woman and began pushing and twisting her neck.
Boston police say the girl did steal about $175 worth of items from the store. Because of her age, state law mandates that she cannot be charged with shoplifting. Khan's pretrial hearing is set for January 22nd.
Well, it's one thing for porch pirates to steal packages from someone's front door, and it takes a lot of nerve to try stealing from a police station. And take a look at this new video out of Washington State. The camera's showing a man grabbing 3 fake presents from under a police station's Christmas tree. It's the second story we've had like this tonight. Police say he was being released from jail when it happened, and when he got outside, he realized that one box was empty, one was a tissue box, and the third had women's hygiene products inside. So he threw them to the ground. The guy who came to pick him up from jail cleaned up the mess and put the boxes back.
Boy, oh boy, what was he thinking?
Yeah. I don't think thought entered into it.
I don't think so, yeah. Come to think of it, yeah.
You know what I miss this time of the year?
What?
Growing up, there was always that one big department store downtown with Santa windows and display windows, like Lazarus here. Iowa had a store like that. Cleveland does.
I saw something on Facebook recently, you know, memories of City Center, when it was all decked out for the holidays back in the 90s, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I missed that. It was the first time I ever saw an escalator in my life.
It's
one of those department stores.
Yeah, straight out of Christmas Story, the movie.
Absolutely. That was like,
and it was in Iowa too. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a store like that in Iowa, 2 stories high.
You know, you said last night that it looks better, the holiday lights, when there's snow on the ground, and I have to agree with you. Now I was noticing that today.
Especially the north and west half of town, and northwest half of the state, but the southeast half of the state just has mud. It's a huge difference. But look at this, Terry.
Wow.
Snow Trails looks a whole lot different at night
than
it does during our noon shot.
Nice.
Look at them blowing snow. The chairlifts are running. It's 20 degrees. They're going to blow snow all night and all morning again tomorrow. You know that's powder.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere for a minute anyway.
Yeah, up there it'll stay quite a while. That's the only place, along with Mad River, that will have a white Christmas. Do you realize Mad River had 10,000 season ticket holders?
What?
In Ohio?
I just love how well they do.
I know it. 10,000.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yes. Good. Good.
So anyhow, that takes care of our skeet promotion for the night. And temperatures are around 20 degrees. It's still snowing coming off of Lake Erie. The lake's not frozen yet. We've seen 2 to 6 inches of snow in that part of the state today. Notice how our temperatures are going to slowly drop tonight with the clearing skies. Fortunately, the winds will be diminishing too as we go through the night tonight. Want some good news? Look at this. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, dry all 3 days. So if you're shopping, you can even go golfing in Southeast Ohio this weekend, I think. 44 here on Sunday, dry weather. What a beautiful view of downtown, but it is one of our colder nights of the season at 24 degrees, a west wind at 16, and it feels like 11 degrees outside. Tempstar heating and cooling current conditions. It's already under 20 degrees to the north and west of us. Keep in mind, everybody north and west of Columbus has snow on the ground. Everybody south and east of Columbus does not. It's 2 different worlds in our state. Our wind speed, though, is still at 16 miles per hour here. Gusts have really dropped off. We had 30-mile-an-hour winds here just a couple of hours ago. And look at the wind chill factors. 9 at Marysville, Marion, and Delaware, and 10 degrees. London, Columbus, it feels like 7. So the snow flurries are diminishing and the skies are clearing. So the overnight low, 5 degrees northwest of town, about 10 in town tonight. Clearing, brisk and cold. Sunshine cold, but not as windy tomorrow, with a high of 33 degrees. Extended forecast. You don't usually get 7 dry days in a row this time of the year. Looks like that's going to be the case. Traveling around Christmas is going to be balmy. You'll probably have the windows rolled down in the car. High temperatures near 50.
Wow. Thanks, Jim. Straight ahead at 6. Yes, it's true most presidents haven't been impeached, but quite a few of them played fast and loose with their offices. Wait until you hear what some of them did, and believe me, you didn't read about it in the history books.
Plus, a major route through downtown Columbus about to change. We'll tell you about the ramp that's closing and the detour that's opening. We'll steer you clear at 6.
Begins at 7 o'clock right here on ABC 6.
And Adam Slinger in the newsroom with a preview of what we can expect here tonight. That's going to be pretty exciting, Adam.
Yeah, hey guys. So of course, we're going to be talking about the impeachment vote in D.C. We'll be staying with this throughout the night. We'll also talk about what happens next after the vote tonight. Then we are also preparing you for a major event happening tomorrow. So many people excited about this. The new Star Wars movie comes out tomorrow night, and we are bringing in this BB-8 and R2-D2. They are taking over the ABC6 studios. You're going to meet the college professor who made both of these things. He'll explain how he did it, why he did it, and just how long it took. Terry and Bob are just about 24 hours away now from the movie hitting theaters across Central Ohio.
Those things are going to take our places. I'll be the little thing with the orange thing.
Surprised they haven't yet. Yeah. Can't wait for it, Adam. Thanks. Looking forward to that. And we're watching the House of Representatives even now as they get closer to an expected historic impeachment vote. Straight ahead, the passionate and personal pleas. Stay with us for ABC 6 News at 6.